I was seconds away from signing a lease to a retail location downtown to one of the biggest hospitals. Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. You could have spent this time doing anything else, but you decided to give this video a watch, so thanks so much for stopping by. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a story time video on why I quit my photography business. So just to catch you up to speed a little bit as far as how I got my start, in 2011, I got my first camera for Christmas, and I was 18 at the time. I thought, wow, this is great. I just wanted to do it for fun, so I started taking pictures and posting them online. And people started approaching me and saying, oh, how much do you charge? Would you be able to do our photos? I didn't have that much experience or education. I didn't really have that great of a camera. It was only like a 10 megapixel camera, which nowadays iPhones have better quality than that. But I didn't have that much experience or education on posing and lighting and editing. And I had no idea that it was going to eventually turn into a business. Because like I said, at the time, it was just for fun. And I was in college and I had two other jobs. So I was working at the university that I was attending, and I worked at a local amusement park. So photography was just kind of something that I did on the side. And I did everything from weddings to seniors to children to families. It eventually became so much that I was getting a little bit overwhelmed with not only college, but the two other jobs that I was working and photography. So I wasn't really sure what I was going to do, if I was going to continue doing this photography business or if I was just going to focus on college and my two other jobs. Ultimately, I did decide that I will continue with photography because I really liked doing it, but the stuff that I was photographing, I didn't enjoy. So the first thing that I cut out was weddings. Later on, I started to decide that I didn't want to put 20% into each thing, and that I maybe wanted to put 100% and niche down, like 100% into one category or two categories. So again, because of this, I just didn't know where I wanted my business. And I say business because at the time, I didn't know how to efficiently and effectively run a business. But because I was in college and working these two jobs, and it did become such a heavy workload, I kind of lost sight a little bit and began to just kind of question things and put photography in the back of my mind a little bit. I don't want to say that I quit photography then, but I did slow down quite a bit, and things did get pretty stagnant until I could get my mind clear and figure out where I wanted my business to go. So fast forward quite some time, I started to change things a little bit differently about my business. I started a new job and I graduated college, so things were becoming a little bit more manageable. It's now 2016 and I've been with my now husband for 13 years. We ended up having an ectopic pregnancy, which a lot of people don't know what that is, and I do plan on doing a whole separate video on that. But basically, I was just dealing with a lot. I was trying to find myself. So I finally sat down after all of those years, figured out what was really going to make me happy. What was I really passionate about and I really wanted to photograph. Because of the ectopic pregnancy and the loss and me having such a hard time, I ended up deciding that I finally wanted to do maternity and newborns, because there was a little piece of my heart that was missing, and that I thought this would really help me heal. I sit here and say that photographing pregnant women and babies was the reason that completely healed the loss, but it was really hard at the time, you know, seeing this when that's what I wanted. But I do think that it was therapeutic for me and kind of filled a little bit of that gap that in my heart that I was missing. So everything was going great and I loved it. And I was spending a lot of time on education, on not only refining my photography skills, but education on how to work with pregnant women and how to work with newborns and the safety of newborns. I was spending a lot of time and money into how to properly run and own a business and maintain a business with marketing. So I was really hitting the pavement with not only trying to learn this new niche and shoot and have my business flourish, but really try to get my name out there and be known for maternity and newborn. Fast forward a year, it's now 2017, and I eventually got pregnant, which is now Lily, and I decided that as much as I didn't want to, because I just spent all this time and energy and money and just everything into making my business grow, that because of the loss that we just had not that long ago, that I just wanted to kind of step back a little bit, take it easy, and shift all of my focus on just marketing my business so that once I returned from my pregnancy, that I could pick it right back up. And I was shooting very minimally until about probably like 33 weeks pregnant. Shooting very minimally because of the loss, and I didn't want anything to happen to this baby, but also photography, there's a lot of up and down. When shooting newborns, it's very hot in the room and you get very sweaty, and overall it's just a lot for somebody who is 30 some weeks pregnant. So that's why I decided to kind of shift my focus. And even though I wasn't shooting as much during my pregnancy, I was still working throughout my pregnancy, pretty much up until like 2 or 3 weeks before I had her. I was still consulting with clients and returning emails and phone calls, and pretty much just setting my business up for when I returned from maternity leave. Needless to say, all of my hard work paid off, and I had Lily, and 2 months later, I took 2 months off. 2 months later, I came back. I was seconds away from signing a lease to a retail location downtown to one of the biggest hospitals with one of the biggest labor and delivery units in our area. I thought, this is great. This is what I love to do. And I worked so hard for so many years, and things are finally taking off for me. My name is finally getting out there. All my hard work is finally being recognized, and the snowball was just rolling down the hill. So here I am, a new mom with a 2-month-old baby, and I'm having to find babysitters in the mornings that I had sessions because Matt, my husband, was my assistant. I was spending my days just, like I said, responding to emails and messaging and editing and the sessions and a newborn baby and a colic newborn baby and sleepless nights, and it was a lot. This business was just taking 40 to 60 hours or more of my time with a newborn baby, and although that it was great and it was really thriving and I was so happy, I was also really sad, and it was just really hard. It was just taking up so much of my time, and I didn't really have the time with a baby. I had these feelings and I kind of put them in the back of my mind because I just kept telling myself that I realized that working from home is such a luxury and not everybody gets to have this opportunity, but I just wasn't happy, and it wasn't fair to my newborn baby to be sitting in a swing or a bassinet all day long when I was trying to respond to these emails and editing. Editing takes up so much time on just one session, and like I said, it just wasn't fair to her to be sitting in these swings all day long while I was working. And I tried everything. I tried a baby harness. I tried having her sit with me at my desk, and it just wasn't working. And I don't want to get it confused that I wasn't grateful or this isn't what I wanted, because at the time, or so I thought, this is what I wanted and this is what I was working so hard towards. But it just wasn't fair to Lily to have to sit in one spot all day, because how does that help her development? It doesn't. And I will say that I never not gave my clients or each session 100%. The other part of it is also that this industry is super competitive and it's very expensive and very costly, as is any business. You really have to keep up on not only education, but you have to keep up on gear. Technology is constantly changing. People don't see the costs behind running a business. There's so many costs. So all this money that I was putting into my business, not only for just education, but to run the business and just everything that went into it, that nobody sees the behind the scenes of a business, versus all these hours that I was spending on, yes, education, but things that I was doing behind the scenes and sessions and editing. It wasn't enough to pay myself a salary to keep me away from my baby, if that makes sense. And then the third reason was that because this is such a competitive industry, it's really hard to sustain good mental health and try not to constantly compare your work to other photographers' work. And that really was just taking a toll on my confidence in and outside of the business, while I was dealing with all of this other stuff, these feelings with Lily and some postpartum feelings. So it was just taking a toll on my mental health. Don't get me wrong, I think that it's normal and healthy to want to constantly improve on your work and yourself, but it basically became a sick obsession. And could I have hired an assistant to help with my sessions and answering emails and editing? Sure, but I didn't want to, because I was the one that built this business. Not only that, but that would have just been more of a cost to have to hire somebody and pay somebody that was taking more away from my salary. Matt and I sat down and we mutually decided that it was best for not only me, but for Lily and her development to kind of just gracefully bow out and quietly just close up shop. I still take lifestyle photos of my family and Lily on my Instagram. Will I ever return to photography? I'm not really sure. Only time will tell, but for right now, this is what works for me and for our family. I just give props to all the moms out there, working moms, stay-at-home moms. Being a mom is a hard enough job, and I just thank God every day that I have such a supportive husband and that I am able to be a stay-at-home mommy with Lily. But I also thank God for all of the amazing people that I've met through my business and my clients' love and support, because without them, I wouldn't have been able to get nearly as far as I did. So I hope you enjoyed this story time on where I'm currently at in my journey. As always, if you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe so you can follow along as we continue to live our life with Lily. Thanks so much for watching. See you in the next one. Bye, guys.